Wish he was, Guru Maharaj.
Yeah, thank you for taking the time, Guru Maharaj.
I heard that in Australia, they're not going to allow to come in for 6 months now. And let us see what happens, because the world situation is quite critical. So yesterday, we are discussing about the result of our scientific and technological advancement. We can't even deal with a virus, a small little virus, and they are attacking us and we do not know how to defend ourselves. The whole world has come to a standstill. Anyway, the devotees are happy, aren't you? Devotees are happily taking advantage of this lockdown and taking advantage of Krishna's time in applying it in Krishna's service. Sometimes some devotees say that, oh, I can't go to the temple, I cannot render any service. And so I point out that actually the most important service is the chanting of the holy name. That is the service that pleases Krishna the most. And that is the service that we'll be able to render even at the time of death. When we are totally incapacitated, totally crippled, bedridden, can't even move, we can continue to render this service by remembering him and chanting his name. See how, what a wonderful foresight Krishna has. He could see what's going to happen in this age, and therefore he made this arrangement. Like, you don't have to perform fire sacrifice, you are not qualified to meditate, the Ashtanga Yoga meditation. You are not qualified even to, or the situation will not allow you to even render devotional service. So he gave a process that we can execute anytime, anywhere. Anytime, anywhere. Lockdown, fine. You can chant. In the midst of the greatest calamity, yes, you can chant. There's a war ravaging the whole world, and bombs are dropping everywhere, but still devotees can continue. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. The bombs are dropping, and probably bombs will keep the beat with the chanting of Hare Krishna. And it's I have selected to give a seminar or rather discuss Uddhav Gita at this time. And Uddhav Gita is so appropriate for this kind of situation. To begin with, like Uddhav is facing a situation where he is going to lose everything. He's going to lose everything. All his family members will be gone. The city of Dwarka is going to disappear in the midst of the ocean. Dwarka is going to sink in the ocean. And on top of everything, his object of love, Krishna, who meant everything to him, he is also going to go away. So can you imagine how Uddhav must be feeling at that time? And that's the time Krishna is giving him this knowledge, Bhagavad Gita. Like we can see, Krishna spoke Gita in extremely critical situations. To Arjun, when the battle is about to begin, a terrible battle where he has to fight against his own relatives, his grandfather, his guru, his cousins, his uncle, his friends with whom he grew up from the childhood. Now they are standing in the enemy side and he'll have to kill them. So naturally, these situations are very, very critical. And so compared to those situations, our situation today is nothing. We're in a pretty peaceful situation. We're getting our food, we are getting, everything is there. We have our internet, we can communicate with our friends and relatives. And so our situation is nothing compared to that. Like what Arjuna was facing at that time, what Uddhav was facing at that time. And in Uddhav Gita especially, Krishna is pointing out that what really matters is our spiritual identity and our relationship with Krishna. That's about the only thing that matters. And everything else is a dream. This material nature, our involvement in the material nature, is like a dream. Only the difference is that when we dream, then that dream is individual. Whoever is dreaming, he dreams it. But this material nature is a collective dream. Whoever is here will have the same dream. And it's a kind of a dream that has been created by Krishna, by Krishna's illusory energy, illusory potency. And he is pointing out in Uddhav Gita the futility, illusory aspect of this material nature and our involvement in it. Everyone is trying to enjoy, but how can you enjoy in the place of suffering? How many of you are listening to the class, Uddhav Gita, that I'm giving? Okay, many of you are not listening. So, yeah, one beautiful example that Uddhav gives in that a person who is in a death row, he is going towards the place of execution. He is being taken to the place of execution. Can he possibly think of any enjoyment at that time? Prabhupada actually gave a similar kind of example. A goat is about to be slaughtered, but the goat is thinking, oh, let me have some sex with a female goat who is standing next to me. In next 5 minutes, he is going to be slaughtered, and he is still thinking of having sex enjoyment. But he's a goat. That's why he doesn't care. He doesn't know what's going to happen to him after 5 minutes. Similarly, the human being situation, no matter how intelligent they are, is not very different from the goat situation. We all are moving towards the place of execution. But we are thinking in terms of enjoyment. Whether after 5 days or 5 years or 50 years, we are going to be executed, but we are not concerned about that. We are not thinking that death is going to come and take everything away. We are just thinking, okay, let me have some enjoyment here. So that shows how stupid most of the human beings are. Those who are intelligent, they'll understand that. Like whatever I'm doing is going to end. We don't even know when it's going to happen. There's no guarantee that we're going to be here for 5 more days. It can come at any time. But we are endeavoring, arranging for sense gratification. Now, the desire to enjoy is there in everyone, but one should know how to really enjoy. The real enjoyment is in Krishna consciousness, and Krishna consciousness means to be situated in knowledge. Knowledge means to recognize our spiritual identity. Knowledge means to recognize our situation in this material nature, and knowledge means how to get out of this miserable condition. And knowledge means how to develop a loving relationship with Krishna, because that is the ultimate solution to all our problems. So that is real knowledge. And the knowledge comes from a higher source. And we are fortunate that we are having this knowledge, we are having these informations. So take advantage of every situation. When you read Uddhav Gita, you'll see that Krishna is saying that everything is his manifestation. This material existence is not false, it's there. It's a dream, but because it's created by Krishna, it's real. That's the thing. That's the difference between the Mayavadis, the impersonalists, and us. Impersonalists, especially the followers of Shankaracharya, they think that Jagat is mithya. This material nature is false. Jagan Brahma Satya, Jagan Mithya. Brahma is the absolute truth, and this Jagat is false. But our acharyas, Srila Prabhupada is saying, no, it's not false. It's real as a dream. It's real. We can't say the dream is false, especially when the dream is a projection of Krishna's arrangement. And how can I say false when everyone is going through the same experience? Whoever will be here in this room will see the same room. Whoever is present here or wherever, everyone will experience the same reality. So how can you say false? It is real, but real as a reflection. There is a reflection of a tree in a pool of water. We cannot say that it's false. As a reflection, it is real. It may not be the real tree, but as a reflection, it is real. That is our understanding. And how do we deal with this reality? We try to understand why Krishna created this illusory arrangement. First consideration, because we wanted to enjoy without him. Since we wanted to enjoy without him, he said, okay, fine, go and enjoy without me. And he created this illusory arrangement so that we can think that we can enjoy here. That is the illusion. In reality, we cannot enjoy without Krishna. But here we are getting an impression that we can possibly enjoy without Krishna. But what's happening? The more we are trying to enjoy, the more we are ending up suffering. Fine, Krishna is saying, go ahead, enjoy, let's see what happens. In that respect, I think of one example that Prabhupada gave. He was in household life at that time. His little son was trying to put his hand on the fan, table fan. So his mother was telling, no, no, can't do that. You shouldn't do that. You'll get hurt. And the boy was crying, no, no, I want to put my hand. So finally, when Prabhupada saw the situation, he switched off the fan, and his fan is still moving. And he said, okay, fine, touch it, touch it. And he touched it, and he got hurt, started to cry. Prabhupada said, what happened? Touch it. He said, no, no, I don't want to touch it again. So this is how one learns, this is what Krishna made, this is why Krishna made this arrangement. Go, touch it, try it out. And when you get hurt, then we say, okay, we don't want to. Now the thing is, again, now you're coming to degree of intelligence. Some people learn just by hearing that this material nature is a place of suffering, and enjoyment, endeavor for enjoyment is only just a futile endeavor. Some people don't learn by hearing, but when they see that is happening, they learn. The second class intelligence learns by seeing. And still somebody doesn't learn. And he goes through his own experience, and then he learns by experiencing. Third class intelligence. And the fourth class intelligence, even in spite of going through the suffering, he doesn't learn. So, like what to do with them? Those, even in spite of going through the experience themselves, they do not learn. And unfortunately, most of the people of this world today are of this fourth class intelligence, and some are even worse than that, fifth class intelligence. Anyway, by Srila Prabhupada's mercy, by Krishna's mercy, we found the appropriate path, and we have accepted that path. Now just let's remain in that path. And again, to go back to Uddhav Gita, Uddhav is pointing out that anything that is without Krishna is unreal. And anything that is with Krishna is real. Even in this material nature, if we put Krishna in the center, then it will become spiritual, or it will become real. But if it is devoid of Krishna, then it is unreal. Ultimately, everything is Krishna's manifestation, so how can anything be separate from Krishna, different from Krishna? Like an intelligent way of looking, actually this is also, reminds me, one devotee from Vrindavan. She's actually from Australia, Srimati Mataji. She joined in the early 80s. I remember she was doing her PhD at that time. Very, very nice devotee. And she became so committed. She just left Australia, and she was in Mayapur for 30 years or so. Then she moved to Vrindavan. Very scholarly, very erudite. So she is in touch with me often. So she sent a story. A little girl talking to her mother. And so she is saying, Mummy, is coronavirus Krishna? is coronavirus Krishna. And through the little girl, we are seeing that yes, it's Krishna's arrangement. Krishna made this arrangement. Otherwise, how could anything happen? How could anything happen? Like Krishna is teaching us, showing us how helpless we are, how incapable we are. A simple little virus, a unicellular animal. Just this body is just one cell. Whereas even in a cell, in a body of a mosquito, there are millions of cells, billions of cells in the body of a mosquito. Whereas this is just one cell. And it crippled the whole world. And when you look at it from the proper perspective, we can see, yes, it's Krishna. All these years, we are just slaughtering so many animals. We're indulging in so many sinful activities. So finally, Krishna said, enough is enough. Now, all of your sinful activities have reached a state that you are going to be taught a very, very severe lesson. All that you have created probably will crumble now. All our economic arrangement, financial arrangement, all the industrial arrangement, probably just in one stroke of one virus is going to crumble. Already it's happening in the stock market. Somebody was telling me, he is very much in the stock market. He was telling me that his wealth now has reduced to half, just in a couple of days. It was measured by value, the value of the stock, and what the value was, then just in 1 or 2 days' time, it just became half. And no one knows what's going to happen when the World Wide opens up again. Many people will become paupers. One of the richest men in India, Mukesh Ambani, the other day I was saying he lost $6.4 billion. Just one person in a couple of days lost $6 billion. Yes. And who knows what's going to happen? So many industries will close down, so many businesses will crumble, so many people are going to lose jobs. In America already, it's a few million people lost their jobs already. And what's going to happen? We can't even imagine what's going to happen. And at the same time, we have to thank Krishna that this attack on human civilization came in a rather nice way. If it came in the form of a war, can you imagine what would have happened? Everything would have been destroyed. If there's a war and if there's a nuclear war, many countries have already gone through that, like Iraq. It was a beautiful country. I remember I went to Iraq for the first time in 1970. And I met many friends there. They were so nice, friendly, young boys, college-going students. And had a wonderful time with them, although for about a week only. But we met friends. And it's a very prosperous country. People are, the affluent people are very, very well off. And the young boys that I met, they were so happy-go-lucky kind of a boy. And so and then has been completely destroyed. Same thing with Jordan. All the Middle East had been completely shattered. Most of the Middle East has been shattered completely. So they have experienced, like you have seen, so many people from Iraq and Jordan, they were going to Germany. And many of them must have been very, very affluent, very wealthy. And they just left. They went to Turkey. They wouldn't allow them to stay there. Then they left Turkey. They went to Austria, Greece, Austria. And then finally, some of them got some asylum in Germany. So can you imagine like how terrible the situation was for them? Many of them had beautiful homes, beautiful families, nice bank balance. But what happened? Just one war and completely destroyed everything. And what to speak of if there is a world war? What could happen if there's a use of nuclear weapons? We can't even imagine what would happen. The two bombs that destroyed Hiroshima and Nagasaki, those two atom bombs are like toys compared to the bombs that they have created now. And many of them have them. Many countries have them. So at least we can say that yes, the world has come to a standstill, but the world situation is not that critical. It's not that drastic. And things could have been so much worse. So Krishna is giving us a wake-up call. Realize that you can't continue with your sinful activities. Surrender unto me. And if you surrender unto Krishna, then everything will become so wonderful again. Anyway, like, I hope you don't mind. I just always speak about the ominous situations, the dreadful situations, how the calamities can strike us. But then again, why should we try? Why should we not consider that and somehow prepare ourselves? Yes, prepare ourselves. That's intelligence. It may happen, so let me prepare. And sometimes the warnings come in a more definite and precise way, like I'm spending time in Orlando, and often they get hit by cyclone, devastating cyclone actually. The whole city is vacated. They tell them, don't stay because it's going to be very dangerous. So we get a prior warning and we move out. Sometimes they don't move, some people, and they lose their lives. They think, okay, oh, these are some false warning. But an intelligent person will recognize the warning and prepare himself for that. So, Adi Atmik, Adi Bhautik, Adi Daivik. These are the Adi Daivik klesh. The distresses and difficulties caused by Daiva, demigods. These are the arrangements of the demigods. Pestilence, famine, pandemic, war. These calamities are created by the demigods. But these are actually wake-up calls. surrender unto Krishna. Krishna sent Srila Prabhupada, gave the wisdom throughout the world, and why shouldn't we take the instructions and act accordingly? Those who are intelligent, they will do that. But those who are not intelligent, who can help them? So anyway, and I just don't want to tell you all the ominous things. I'll tell you some good news also. Like in spite of all this, in Ujjain, we are distributing prasad. And our prasad is so good that the government offices are taking those prasad. You know what we are serving? We are serving chapatis with ghee. We put ghee on chapati because otherwise the chapatis, when they become cold, they become very hard. But when you put ghee, then they remain soft. So we give 4 such chapatis and 1 sabji, good quantity, and 1 bundi laddu, 1 sweet. So this sweet, nobody ever thought of giving. And nobody gave with chapati. They're serving chapati because Madhya Pradesh, people are mostly chapati eaters. In Bengal, they're serving khichdi. It's a lot easier to serve khichdi. In one go, you can prepare for 200-300 people, 500 people. But chapati, we have to make 1 at a time. Anyway, we have a chapati machine, so it's not so difficult. But the thing is that, like the chapatis, other chapatis, they're serving, nobody thought of ghee, but we are giving ghee, chapati with ghee and pure ghee. And the sabjis are so good that our devotees are also having this same chapati and same sabji. And bundi laddu, nobody gave any kind of sweets. We are the ones who are giving the sweets, and that's what is actually making our prasadam so special. And so we are serving the government offices, and we are serving about 250 in the offices and 250 to other people. And then the government wanted us to give it to the hospital, to the people, those who are quarantined in the hospital, because those who are in quarantine, they're causing some problem. They don't want to stay there, they want to leave. So they thought by giving our prasad, they'll be pacified because the prasad is so nice. So they told us that to serve 200, we are giving 500 plates of prasad every day. 200 to the government offices, 200 to the hospitals, and 100 to other people. So that is, and now it's coming to an end. And government was asking whether we're going to stop. So I said, no, we will continue to serve. So even though it was a condition that we'd serve for 1 month, and 1 month has been over, but still we are continuing to serve. And we said, as long as the need is there, as long as the people are in lockdown situation, as long as patients are coming to the hospital, and as long as the hospitals are crowded, we will be giving. And then we started to distribute also in America, in D-Land, where we are. And guess what we are serving there? We are serving pizza. And we didn't know what the response will be like. So we started off with 10 pizzas. And the response was very nice, because some people are telling us that, we should first make a phone call, and then we'll make an appointment, and then we'll go to give the prasad. But then we are seeing that there's no need to make phone calls. We are just going there and telling that we have some prasad for you all. Would you like to take? And the Americans, not only Americans, everyone loves pizza. So pizza, nobody can refuse. And so we started off with 10 pizza, And now, then we started to give 50 pizzas a day. But 50 is our capacity, like to make more is difficult. So what we started to give fried rice, biryani, Indian fried rice, and also Chinese chow mein, Chinese fried noodles. So we are giving out more than 100 plates now every day. And probably the way, I mean, we are getting the response there. And that's why we got into biryani and noodles. You see, pizza is difficult to make with the capacity we have. It's difficult to make more than 50. So, but biryani, we can make without any difficulty 100 plates in one go. Same thing with chow mein. We can easily make 50 plates, 100 plates. So in a way we can say now we have a capacity to feed 250 people in America. In the hospitals, who all are taking our things? Hospitals are taking, police stations are taking, fire stations are taking, sheriff's office is taking. So whoever is working, like it was in lockdown situation. So we go wherever we see the people are working, we just go and give it to them. And everyone is taking that with so much delight. And we're developing such a nice relationship with them also. Like when our boys go there, the head of the police station, the head chief of the police comes out and greets them. Same thing with the hospital. The departmental heads come out and greet us. And so this is how, in spite of this difficult situation, we are having a wonderful time. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Does anybody have any question? Who is monitoring this?
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Samendra Krishna. Yeah.
Yes, Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna. Yes, so if anyone has a question, please raise your hand. I think Pranaveshwar Krishna Prabhu has a question.
Okay. Hare Krishna, Pranaveshwar. You have to, Pranaveshwar, you have to.
Guru Maharaj, can you hear me? Hare Krishna.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Guru Maharaj, Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
My most humble obeisances to you, Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Guru Maharaj, thank you so much for taking so much trouble and coming down and addressing us. Thank you so much, Guru Maharaj. We are not very much able to attend your evening direct live lectures, but we are hearing it offline. I know many devotees are hearing, but we are unfortunate that the timing doesn't match.
I know, right. Yeah. But Shamsundar Krishna is attending every day without fail. Like he's in Melbourne and he is, anyway, I'm sorry what to do, but whenever I see some questions coming from Shamsundar Krishna, I just tell him that I thank him for attending the class in spite of being so late, because we started 6 o'clock here means 10:30 in Australia.
Yes, sir.
And in Melbourne and Sydney, same time zone?
Same time, Guru Maharaj.
Same time zone, yeah. So 10:30 there in Melbourne.
Thank you so much, Guru Maharaj, for such a nice, wonderful class. It's a beautiful reminder for me personally how much sincere and serious I need to become about spiritual life. Guru Maharaj, my question is, how can we become very good first-class preachers, Guru Maharaj?
Well, to preach, Prabhupada wanted everyone to preach. Prabhupada didn't want that first you become a pandit, become a scholar, then you go out and preach. No, Prabhupada said anybody can preach. So to be a preacher, one needs to have the conviction that what you have accepted, that is the best thing to accept. There's nothing better than this. There's the first consideration, first qualification for a preacher. I have accepted Krishna consciousness because this is the best thing I found. And this solved all my problems. So when you realize that, then you go and give it out to others. You see, it is not that a scholarship matters. It's a conviction that matters. Because it's something that's real. It's good for everyone. So the earnest appeal to them that why don't you try it and see? Then people will benefit. All right, so just the earnest desire to help others. And you go and tell them, like, and one example often I think of in that respect. Prabhupada's secretary at the time was Shamsundar Prabhu and Malati Mataji. And they had a daughter, Saraswati. She was a little girl. So one day in India, some important person came to see Srila Prabhupada. And while he was waiting, Saraswati was speaking to him. And Saraswati asked, do you know Krishna? That person kind of jokingly said, no, I don't know Krishna. And Saraswati said, oh, you don't know Krishna? Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So when Prabhupada heard that, he said, see, this is Krishna consciousness. Even a little child can preach to a big minister. Oh, you don't know Krishna? Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. All you have to do is just say that. You don't know Krishna? Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. At least this much anybody can say, right? Isn't it? Even a child can say, since a child can say what to speak of others. Thank you. Hare Krishna. And yeah, another point I'll make in this respect. A Vaishnava is a paradukha dukhi. Paradukha dukhi. He feels sad seeing others' sorrows. And therefore he goes out of his way to alleviate his misery. Okay, thank you.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam, this is
Shamsundar Krishna. So this is a good time for you, right?
I listened your today's Guru Maharaj teachings of Lord Chaitanya as well, which was wonderful. So in fact, morning, afternoon, evening, it's all wonderful to hear your lectures, Guru Maharaj. Guru Maharaj, just one question with respect to what Pravneshwar Prabhu said in terms of preaching. I had one question in Bhagavatam in 2.2.8, where Krishna says that the super soul is the size of 8 inches. So in terms of preaching, how do we understand that how the ant will have 8 inches of super soul, Paramatma? Because soul is 1 by 16,000 tip of the hair, which we can say, okay, you cannot see. But how do we make people understand that conceptually?
Yeah, tell them that it's not according to material measurement. According to spiritual measurements, 8 inches.
Okay.
You get it?
Yes, Maharaj.
Like, sometimes our acharyas gave some statements for people to understand how one can perceive the super soul in his heart. But the super soul is the personality of God. Is honor aniyan mahato mahi. He is smaller than the smallest and greater than the greatest.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Also, another way to get andantarastha paramanu chayantarastha. Like he's situated even in the heart of an atom. So how can you really measure him according to material calculation? In simple words, we can also consider what's the measurement of your mind? Can you measure your mind? Right? So what to speak of your soul? And what to speak of the super soul? Right? But sometimes, an Acharya is just to make us understand, it gives that kind of meaning. When one perceives the super soul, that is how he will see him, according to his perception, he will be like that. That's the kind of understanding.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. This is Sulaksana here.
Hare Bol, Hare Krishna. কি খবর তোমাদের?
ভালো আছি আমরা।
Okay.
আমার মনে হচ্ছে এখন আমাদের হচ্ছে দামোদর মাসে আছি।
আচ্ছা, দামোদর
মাসে আমাদের মানে আমাদের ডিভোশনাল সার্ভিসটা আমরা ইনক্রিজ করি, তো এখন মনে হচ্ছে আমরা দামোদর মাস, এখানে কোনো প্যান্ডেমিক নেই এরকম মনে হচ্ছে।
ওকে, ভেরি গুড। টেক ফুল অ্যাডভান্টেজ।
আমি চেষ্টা করছি চ্যান্টিং ইনক্রিজ করতে, তারপরে ভাগবতম পড়তে এভরিডে।
In Australia, you should speak in English.
Oh, so I can speak English, yeah. Guru Maharaj, my question is, like, we are reading Bhagavatam Canto 7, chapter 1, where it says that Shishupal, Jai Vijay came as a Shishupal and Dantavakra. So, and 4 Kumaras, they cursed Joy Vijay to come here in this material world as Shishupal Dantavakra. So, I quite didn't understand that both of them, they are situated in Vaikuntha, where we can see there is no kuntha, there is no anxiety, there is no greedy pride. So where they curse Joy Vijay, like why 4 Kumaras curse Joy Vijay?
Yeah. Well, this is Krishna's arrangement. Krishna's pastimes are like a drama. And so Krishna, as the super soul, made Joy Vijay desire that they want to give Narayan the experience of fighting. Joy that a hero feels by fighting, called Viraras. Now in Vaikuntha, no one gives Krishna that, or Narayan, that experience of fighting in Viraras. So they wish that, oh, I wish we could give the Lord a chance to experience that mellow. And then immediately Jogomaya made the arrangements. The 4 Kumars came. Jai Vijay reacted in a certain way, and they got upset. They cursed him. And then Krishna came, apologized. Narayan came, apologized to the 4 Kumaras and pacified them. Then he asked Jai and Vijay, so you have been cursed by a Brahmana, so that is going to happen. No one can counteract that. Now tell me, do you want to go to the earth planet as a devotee? Then you have to be there for 7 lifetimes. But if you go there and be my enemy, then you'll be there for 3 lifetimes. So Joy and Vijay decided to become Krishna's enemy and be in the earth planet, be in the material nature for 3 lifetimes. So you see, they desired to give a pleasure in Viraras to Narayan. And so this is how the arrangement was made. So in this way, you have to see the arrangements of Krishna's pastimes. Okay? Hare Krishna. Any other question?
Guru Maharaj,
Okay.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj.
Yeah.
Question about Ekadasi. You know how back then when Krishna was in Vrindavan and stuff, Sin never had anywhere to go. So Krishna told Sin to go into gold and grain on this Sunday. So now Sin is everywhere. So why does it have to be Ekadasi? Like if Sin is everywhere and it doesn't need a Sunday to go
place to the side.
place.
Okay, I think I understood your question. I'll try to answer accordingly. You see, one day Krishna went to Jamaraj's house and he heard some people are just crying out of pain. So he asked Jamaraj, what happened? Why are they crying like that? So Jamaraj said that they're sinners, they're sinful people. So then Krishna felt that these are my creation. Why should they suffer like that? So Krishna immediately created Ekadasi. And Krishna arranged that whoever will observe Ekadasi, that is the 11th day of the lunar movement of the moon, then he will become free from all sinful reactions. So now everybody started to observe Ekadasi and they were becoming free from sinful reactions. So and now the sin who is all sins make his body. This sin personifies body is made of all the sins of the world. So now there was no sin. Can you imagine what's the condition of that poor sin personified? His body was practically emaciated. He was staggering towards Krishna. One day Krishna saw that sin is coming. So Krishna asked, what happened? Why are you in such a state? Then Sin said that, look, ever since we have created Ekadasi, everyone is observing Ekadasi and they're becoming free from sinful reactions. And as a result of that, I am about to die. So I am also your creation, so please have mercy upon me. So then Krishna said, okay, those who will take grains on that day will take all the sins. You sin, all the sins will enter into the grains on the day of Ekadasi. And if anybody takes the grains on the day of Ekadasi, he will also take the sins along with the grains. So that is why grains are not taken on Ekadasi day. All right?
Okay.
Haribol. Thank you. So, is there any, I heard something. So, any questions, Somendra Krishna? Huh? Oh, Tanvirada. Yeah, okay. Go ahead. You have to unmute. Okay, you can speak. I can't hear you for some reason. I could hear Pranaveshwar Krishna fine, but your voice is not audible. Now you have to unmute. Now it's in silent. It's muted. Pranaveshwar, unmute it. Yeah. Okay, now it's okay. It's muted again. It's yeah. Now it's unmuted. Yeah, go ahead. Yes, Tanvi. I don't know, something is happening.
Guru Maharaj, can you hear us?
I can
We
hear
can hear
you.
you.
I can
Okay.
hear you.
Can you speak up?
Maybe you should switch your place. Sit where Pranaveshwari. Okay. Okay, now I can hear you.
Guru Maharaj, I wanted to ask, like as a Krishna conscious lifestyle, we have to, we do so many things, like we chant, we preach, and we read Srila Prabhupada books, and we need to improve our cooking as well, and we need association and then temple services. So how should we prioritize all these activities? Because at the same time, we can't do everything, even though we want to. So how should we prioritize?
The best way to prioritize is to give the maximum importance on chanting, right? Because chanting is the way for this age. Chanting is the first priority. And then you see how you feel like, say, for example, like, like after chanting, you have to consider, like you have to offer bhoga, and you have to also cook for everybody. So maybe the next priority will be cooking and offering bhoga to the Lord. And after you offer the bhoga to the Lord, maybe you can do a quick aratik, right? Like that, you kind of prioritize, putting them in respective orders. Okay? Okay, thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj.
Hari Bol, how are you?
Very good, thank you.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj.
Hari Bol, Shraddha, how are you?
Very well, Guru Maharaj, and yourself?
I'm fine, thank you. Are you in Perth?
Yes.
Oh, okay, good. So
Guru
tell
Maharaj, I had a quick question. This whole epidemic or pandemic gave me the understanding that I'm probably out of time when I took it for granted before, that in this process of Vaidhi Bhakti, gradual slow steps will see me through. I just wanted to ask the question, Guru Maharaj, as an aspirant Kanishta Adhikari on this process, what's the bottom line if we have to leave early? What are the viable alternatives that we can look forward to if we're not going to have a great deal of time to perfect the process?
Yeah, well, the best thing is to just leave it up to Krishna. Try your best and leave it up to Krishna, right? And who knows, how Krishna may bestow his mercy. Like I have seen so many devotees, apparently they were, like apparently they were not so advanced devotees as such. But, like the way they left their bodies, it was quite obvious that, they made it. Like, so there is no way of knowing, like upon whom Krishna will bestow his mercy. And like, I'll give you an example. Probably you know her, at least you know Janava from London. Yeah. So Janava's mother, she's a simple, not very educated, simple housewife. And she got cancer. And the cancer became, naturally became quite critical. And, like, okay, I'll just tell you, I was in America. I was filming Abhay Charan at that time in New Vrindavan. I got the news that she has only about 7 days left, before she leaves the body. Her condition was so critical. So I just immediately took a flight to London. I went there. And And it was so nice. Like she was so composed. Like she was bedridden, but as soon as I arrived, she just wanted to come out of the bed and offer obeisances to me. I practically had to force her not to do that. And then she actually wanted to go to Vrindavan to leave her body. So, like then after a little deliberation, I told her that, look, in Vrindavan, nobody knows you. In Indian Vrindavan, nobody knows you. And you'll be kind of, isolated. Whereas in London, so many devotees are coming and giving you their association. Actually, every day, so many devotees are coming to see her. And so then, she accepted that she would continue to stay in London. And then, like she, instead of 7 days, she stayed for about 3 weeks after that. And when she left her body, she had her bead bag in her hand. She was chanting. And not only that, when she was leaving her body, she lifted her bead bag and placed it on next to her head. Her head was bent a little bit on the side, and she left her body. Now tell me, when one leaves her body in that way, where she goes. So that is how, some devotees. Another young girl, she was so vibrant, she was only 22 years old. And she was a disciple of Radha Maharaj. But she was also very close to me. They were from Pune, and when I used to go to Pune, I used to stay in their house. She used to live with her mother, 2 sisters and the mother. And so she was very close to me also, And she was so full of life, like she was just like a, like vibrant young girl, And then she developed some disease which was incurable, like. And then, she completed her, she came back with the result of her graduation. And then she had a kind of a stroke. And she was taken to ICU. And she was unconscious. When she came back to consciousness, she, those tubes and needles and everything. She told them to really take all that off. And she wanted the devotees to chant Hare Krishna. And when the devotees were chanting Hare Krishna, she left her body. So, I mean, this is the mercy of Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. I have a question. Shubha Krishna Das here.
Shubha Krishna.
Guru Maharaj, because of this COVID now, the close down is everywhere in the world. So the situation economically is becoming day by day is becoming very, very difficult for everyone, including the devotees, and the temples are also struggling. At least as far as I know, in Australia, we are struggling, because when there is no public viewing, public entry to the temple, there is no donation, no hundis, So it is very difficult to manage the expenses. Plus, slowly the employers will also start feeling this situation, when the business will go down. So there will be pay cuts, the salary, when salaries will go down, as well as, devotees will also be in the problems. How we should be taking this ahead, what will be your message for all of us?
Come back to India. You made enough money you have enough money in the bank to come back to India and live like a king. But if you're in Australia and if your salary is curtailed, then you'll have difficulties probably. So, just consider that these are the material situation. And you have to make proper adjustments with your intelligence. Like, what's the point in living in Australia when the situation is so difficult? At least when you have the option to come back to India.
Yes.
Okay. Hare Krishna. So I will, Haribol, Damodar, how are you doing?
Very good, thank you, Guru Maharaj. We're managing. The family's probably never done more hearing and chanting than we've done in the recent weeks.
Yeah. Thank you very much for sending me that message about Jamuna. So I was in touch with her. She's doing okay.
That's good to hear.
She's better now. Thank you.
Jai Guru Maharaj, thank you for joining us.
Hare Krishna. Satya, how are you doing?
Krishna Guru Maharaj, oh, it's wonderful that we can all enjoy your company. It's such a miracle, and we're all in our separate homes.
Right.
And it was a wonderful talk that you gave us. I'm enjoying the less Rajasic aspects of Sydney now that we all have to not be locked down, and the city has gone quiet. And there's so many good things I think will come out of this disastrous situation. And I think it's like with sin, it makes you realize that death can be so close. And that we don't really have much time to lose. We shouldn't waste time. Yeah, so my question is how to keep buoyant even in these difficult times when you see other people struggling and you hear things like 300 million people will die of starvation around the world. It's not so nice to, yeah.
Well, our only and the safest shelter is the holy name and Prabhupada's books.
Yeah.
I tell you, Prabhupada's books are the greatest solace, and the greatest way to overcome all kinds of anxieties and fear. Every page of Prabhupada's books are giving us the wisdom to conquer this kind of calamities and difficult situations.
That's very true. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I can see Ragamanjari. Raga, thank you very much for helping Jamuna. Jamuna had been telling you how you are actually helping her, giving all kinds of advice and cures. Hare Krishna.
It's always your mercy that it's just by your mercy that we are breathing and sustained by the Lord's love.
Yeah.
And I'm just so happy to be in this Bhakti bubble with all my God brothers and God sisters and you. I would love to be with you and in India at the moment.
Yeah.
But Guru, there's a lovely thing I was sent today, which was Go Love 20. Instead of COVID-19, Go Love 20.
Wonderful.
And it's something people are not being infected with, but affected by. So sending a message of appreciation to people in your life that have helped you or that you love. And it's becoming this great epidemic of love.
Yeah.
And I thank you so much, Guru Maharaj, for all the the love you give people despite these difficult circumstances, and I'm sure they'll feel it so strongly in the form of prasadam and wisdom and your presence. And we're just so grateful. So thank you, Guru Maharaj.
And thank you, Raghu Manjari, for being such a good devotee. Hare Krishna, Jai Shri Prabhupada. All glories to Shri Prabhupada. Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Somendra Krishna, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Thank you very much. I know that you are now giving 3 classes a day, and irrespective that you took out time.
Yeah, I'll be with you all once a week.
Oh, Jai. Hari Bol. Thank you very much, Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj.
Yesterday we miss you. The other day we were talking to your father, and I was telling him how wonderful you take care of me whenever I go to Australia.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. It's actually you taking care of me. I don't have any particular question, but just a comment in, it's so reassuring to just listen from you, and because I feel, it's such a safe place to be, that, you're speaking directly from the Acharyas and in line with Srila Prabhupada, and just situated here on the other side of the world and through another computer screen. I still feel so comforted and appreciative that I'm in this position. Everyone around is going quite crazy actually, but here we are, relishing it all. So thank you so much, Guru Maharaj, and like you just mentioned, we look forward to hearing more from you over the coming weeks. And if this is what lockdown brings, then may there be many more lockdowns. Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Haribol, Manindra Krishna, I can see Abhay Krishna there. Abhay Krishna, তুমি কেমন আছো? অস্ট্রেলিয়া কেমন লাগছে?
ভালো।
ঠিকমতো দেখাশোনা করছো তো? Hare Krishna, thank all of you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj.